What's good? Welcome to the Hive Hustle Podcast. This is your boy Mafioso. I'm out here with my brother Danny. Okay? This is the podcast where we talk about street culture, whether that be hip hop, crump, roller skating, whatever invested in me and helped me grow as a person.
Welcome to the show, let us all begin. Introduce a new approach to evolve and win. Taking lead, never stop, can't fall again. Took heed and watched who I called a friend. On a swivel, ain't none of this simple. Rather be at the table, conversing what's beneficial. Put in hard work, unapologetic with your craft. Yeah, the scars hurt, but I won't regret what's in the past.
Yeah, man. Today I got my bro Danny with me. He decided to come on an episode and really have a good conversation. My brother, we was in Dope Show crew together. Yes, I think we did. You filmed a video for me.
Yeah.
We have other plans of new videos that we're going to be filming.
Yes.
If you've seen any of my Instagram clips or any of my clips on YouTube, some of them he was a part of. And me doing stuff with Dope Show, I've gotten to know him. I've gotten close with him. I remember specifically having a conversation at practice about I would tell you what amount I got to in business. I'd be like, yo, bro, I did this much.
You and me both.
Yeah. And then you at the same time, you'd be like, yo, I'm on this project. And it was just dope as fuck to have
every water break was like
literally every water break.
Hey, check this out.
Look, I remember one time we were both at practice working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You had your laptop and I had my iPad out. That was funny. But man, I thank you for coming on the show. It's really great to know a lot of different creatives and being able to put them on this platform and being able to give them a place to speak. I do want to shout somebody out, my bro Gio. He over there on the ones and twos, making sure the audio is right.
Hey, that's me, baby.
But yeah, let's get into it, man.
Yeah.
So as we were talking on the episode before we got on, you were born and raised in Vegas.
Yes.
So tell us who you are. I know you as a dope ass creative. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I know that you're a cinematographer. I know you're a dope dancer. Mm-hmm. I know you teach classes. I know all this, but my audience don't. So give us your upbringing and give us who you are.
Yeah. Whew. Okay. I mean, so born and raised here, pretty much my whole dance journey, I was an only child with my parents. I'm an only child on my grandparents' side.
Okay.
Well, on my mom's side.
Okay.
So all the attention was always on me. I was always very in a very restricted household, So
structured.
Very, very structured. I want to say restricted. Let's say structured.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in high school, I went to high school with some of the people on Mekami.
Okay.
But I was
OGs.
I was not a dancer at any point in time yet. Mm-hmm. And that's what kind of whoa, I want some part of that community at that time. But it was funny because that's when Quest Crew was big.
Yeah, ABDC time. Yeah.
So I went to high school with Matt Gobb. So for those who know him, I went to high school with Matt
he was
Gobb.
on a previous episode. Shout out to the bro.
I don't even think he even would even remember me
from high school.
From high school, but I remember him.
Got it.
And he had the Ryanime hair from Quest Crew.
I remember.
And that was oh shit! That was I wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And after high school, I started taking classes at a place called Dance Zone.
I know that studio. I've heard of it.
So that place is primarily for girls contemporary.
Mm-hmm.
It's for that school, but they will offer drop-in rates to take
that makes sense.
hip-hop classes.
Yeah.
And the only person that taught hip-hop there was Chris Aldiger.
Oh gosh, the bros. Which, by the way, and next time he's in town, I'm really trying to get him on the podcast because he's now a crumper. And it's so dope.
Yep.
Legitimately, I'll be watching his videos. I'm like, dang, man. And he's messing with dope crumpers in his state. In North Carolina, South Carolina area, there's specific people that run that area. And he's with them. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm jealous because he never crumped when he was out here.
Oh, and it's so funny because I only know him as my director who dances to R&B. Very technical. Yeah. But to see him jump into something like that, I'm like, who are you? But in the coolest way.
Yeah, it's inspiring as hell. Yeah, definitely.
So I started there.
Okay.
And I'll never forget to this day, all the girls would laugh at me because I was like, who is this guy that's just like taking class?
Yeah.
But eventually over time, because they prioritize those students that are there.
Yeah.
So whenever like the class was canceled or wasn't going on that week, I wouldn't get notified because I'm not a student there. I'm just someone that just drops in.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just be there. I'm like, oh, is there no class? And I just be waiting outside. So Chris seen that I was like consistent.
And he was like, yo, come over here.
Yeah. And that's when I was put on Underrated.
Ooh, I remember.
So that's his junior team that he started at that time.
Because he had Under the Radar.
Correct. So Under the Radar was already a thing. That was already established. And then Underrated was the newer junior team.
What year was this?
This was probably like 2013, 2014.
Yep. So you performed at the Neon with Underrated and Under the Radar.
Right.
Where me and Brandon won Neon.
Oh,
battle.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Because I remember you guys did that all R&B set.
What's crazy is I didn't really know Brandon like that yet.
Yeah.
Because
no, not that Brandon. I'm talking about another Brandon.
Oh,
so
okay.
Me and this guy named Crooks, you performed at Neon in 2013 with Under the Radar, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So that event was also a battle where the winner went to Germany.
That's when dance competitions or performances had battles at the same time. And they don't do that no more.
No, it's either a showcase or you go to a battle.
Right.
Like we don't have, and that's crazy because Vegas doesn't have that no more. But other states do.
I remember we were trying to fix that to where like we could go see both. But
yeah,
you know,
it'll happen. It'll happen. So that was like was that your like first performance?
Yeah. Because and I was. It's funny for me because I'm like 18, 19, but I have like this like 5 o'clock shadow. It's like, like puberty hit me pretty quick at that time. So like I don't look like 19, the junior team.
Yeah.
Because I
you
remember
look like you're an adult.
No, yeah. So I remember Odani, because he was on BTR at that time. He's like, oh, because he didn't know about Underrated yet. He's like, oh, is that their like director or something? And I was like, bruh, like no.
That's comedy. I love Odani,
bro.
Yes.
But yeah, and that's when I started meeting like everyone in my circle, essentially.
Got it. Okay.
So, but like I was on that junior team with like I don't know if anyone knows who they are, but it's like Dennis Stagg.
Yeah, I know Dennis.
Cut-E.
Yeah.
I started with them on that team.
Wow.
But they've already been dancing since high school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But those were people like I looked up to when I first started because I was like, they were like the core dancers of Underrated at that time. And then our other directors on top of Chris was Amanda Gutierrez from Boogie, and then Cigar Garcia from.
It's crazy because like we've all been involved with each other now like for like over a decade. Like I remember meeting Cigar in 2012 at freaking District, the first one on Trop and Spencer,
which was a magical place. Yeah,
like the people from that era that went to that studio will never forget the essence of that studio, because it was a lot of people don't even know that it was a barbershop and a tattoo shop and a vape shop and a dance studio in one.
Yeah. That place is the epitome of if you know, you know. Yeah,
literally. Like, and that place, I tell Rock and I tell his brother Ronnie, Rock and Ronnie from Super Crew. I tell them all the time, I'm like, yo, like y'all changed history in Vegas. You gave me an opportunity when the first person that gave me an opportunity to teach was JoJo Peralta from Tunai. But after that studio closed, no other studio was given a white crumper an opportunity to teach. So when they first gave me an opportunity and like really, really like saw that I had passion for it and I was bringing workshops there, I was, Yaya taught at that studio in 2015. Like, it's crazy to think about that.
And those kinds of people don't really, like, we don't get those classes anymore.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I remember, like, even on the choreo side of things, like, Lyle Beniga would come, Anthony Lee would come. Yeah. And then for those of you who were obsessed with Brian Puspos, like, he was there.
He was
Ian
all
Eastwood.
the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And it's like, people don't understand that like those people, they're veterans and they're OGs in this like choreo stuff. And I'm like, those are the people, like I respect the choreo scene now, but nothing is ever going to be, what's that dude? Pat Cruz.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I ain't never seen somebody do choreo like him.
Right.
He
and that's where Chris is from.
Yeah,
that's where
I know.
So it's like,
and it's funny because when I seen Chris back then, I was so unintelligent about it, and I would see Chris, I'm like, man, this is a fake pack cruise. Don't beat me up, Chris. I was like not knowing what the hell I was doing, but that's what I would say. Like, and I would look at Mecca Me and be like, I didn't know who they were. Like, it was like somebody they represented at that time. I forgot who it was, but there was a crew back then that I was just like, y'all look like that.
Which makes sense as like someone who
have inspiration.
Well, yeah, someone who freestyles, like you spend so much time on the craft of your individual style.
Yep.
And then you see choreo and you're like, man, like why can't they be like, you know, like quote unquote original, but it's like, it's just a different world.
Yeah, it's a whole different world. And then when I learned about it, it was like, you know, I really figured it out. Like, okay, everybody's really freestyling their choreo too. When I really think about it, you know, when I interviewed Troy, he told me that literally how he makes his choreo is he freestyles. I'm like, when I talk to Rox, she says the same thing. When I talk to Chris, he says the same thing. So I'm like, dang, like the industries are no different.
Yeah.
That's why you see so many freestyle dancers doing choreo now, and so many choreo dancers freestyling now. I feel like the only thing different is we need to make sure that the styles stay the styles, because that's the foundation where all of it comes from, you know? So,
and that's the downside of, like, I would say, well, not downside, but the newer generation is like, they have all these inspired movements from foundation, but have no clue what
foundation
is.
Yeah.
Cause, cause I joined a newer team in the community called Esteem, just to like, I just want to perform more and I just want to get better at performing.
Yeah.
But it's a bunch of, younger kids who don't even know what foundation styles even are, let alone what the vocabulary is.
You think about it, man, like there's not many in, like, besides like Memphis Jukin, because there's a lot of Memphis Jukin classes right now, because obviously Trent teaches, you know what I'm saying? And like there's a lot of hip hop choreography and like industry classes, but I don't really see, besides Culture Shock, I don't really see popping classes. Besides Zoologic, I don't really see b-boying classes. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I'm just out of tune. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But the fact is, I don't see no, besides Crush teaching at Prodigy for a little bit, there's no Crump classes. Yeah. You know, there's
nothing where there's like a consistent slot at least.
And that's what I mean is like, yes, people are teaching pop-ups. Concrete will come out here and teach a pop-up Crump workshop. Yeah. Ruin will come out here and teach a pop-up Crump workshop. But for locals or even poppers, like, you know, J-Rock does his yearly event, but where's the weekly pop-in class that the person that has no clue about foundation that's in a choreo crew can go to it? That's what I feel like we've always lacked, even back then, and that's what District tried to put in place. Yeah, and that's why there'll never be another like it.
No, and it was all the foundations in one spot.
Yeah, bruh. You had a popping class, then a b-boy class, then a crump class, then a freaking contemporary class every week.
And
a lot of the classes were packed.
Yeah,
like I remember that small room. I had to change rooms because my class got so big.
Well, and then me being on Underrated, that was District's team.
Yeah.
So for someone like me, I would get half off classes.
Yeah.
So
you were there every time.
I was there all the time. And then because I was transitioning from high school to college, that summer, I spent almost every day at District taking classes.
Yep. And what's funny is I always, like, there were certain people that I talked to from back then, but there were certain people that I knew who they were. I just didn't ever, like, I was a teacher. So at that level, like, I didn't really converse with everybody. And back then I was stupid as hell and I was religious and I was freaking annoying. But the point I'm making is, like, I talked to Brandon all the time because he was front desk, but I never really spoke to you. Like, we didn't really have like conversations back then.
Well, I mean, back then I was still a kid.
Even then, bro, like, I wasn't much older than you. Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, I feel like dance now is so much different and people are so open to having like, I was at a rehearsal last night and I'm just like, dang, like, everybody's conversing. Like, I didn't even know who one of the guys was, and he walked up to me and we was having a conversation. I'm like, dang, like, it's different. Like, back, I remember when you used to go to rehearsals and if you didn't know nobody, you would just, now people are more open to have conversations and, like,
well, and it was even a tougher era to dance with teams or people, because a lot of people were like, if you're not at a skill level, like you will get told that.
Yeah, that's
quickly.
true. Yeah.
Not only in the freestyle scene, but even in like if you're on a team.
Yeah.
Because like people would fight for center. People.
Yeah, that's true. There was a lot more hunger back then.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people just want to have fun now.
And like there's pros and cons to now versus then, because those kinds of environments are great for competition. But that's not like where people ultimately want to end up. Like, you know, like people go to dance as an escape. So,
and I tell people this all the time. I'm like, there's a difference between somebody that, like me, I'm not trying to make a bunch of money from dance anymore. Like, I don't care to be on tour. Like, people always ask me, like, oh, why didn't you try out for the Usher show? Why didn't you try out for this? And I'm like, I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
I have a wife. I have a business I'm running. Like, my goals are different now. Like, all of my 20s, I traveled. I did the dance and stuff. I was in shows. I did performances. I danced at Dre's with Troy Boy. I did all of that stuff.
You did the things. Yeah.
I'm like, so I experienced that. Now it's time for me to make over 6 figures every year. Like, that's the life I'm trying to live now. Yeah. So, so my therapy is dance, like you said. But then there's I met a kid last night. I'd known him, but his name's Myson. I didn't even know he was a part of Lecturebots. Oh, like he was on NBC's World of Dance season 3, and I'm sitting there in the class with him, and he's looking at me crump like, "Dang, that's crazy." I'm like, "Hold on, I just looked at your Instagram. Don't tell me, dang, that's crazy. You was on TV 2 years ago,
right?"
Like, so it's crazy that like people still can give that respect.
I love that though,
but still like be a dope dancer themselves. Yeah. So
no, I love that because it's having someone, because everything is just like on social media or you see on TV or whatever. But I love that experience for you because it's someone that can really see someone that like was a pillar in a community that isn't all into that. Yeah, you know. And
it's I give people so much credit for even putting me in stuff because I'm like, I can't be as active. Like I posted on my story last night. I was like, it's time to dance. Like that's my thought process now. I was like, okay, let me get in the field. Let me see if I'm going to be 38 in 2 days. Like, let me see if these 38-year-old legs can still move. And last night I was like, because in the performance we're making, I was sitting like a portion of it, I'm in the center and I'm like freestyling and I'm like looking at everybody around me and I'm like, the song's playing and I'm getting off like in the midst of our rehearsal, like the choreographer's like walking around and she's not giving me any directions. So there's a mirror in front of me. I'm gonna dance. Yeah. Like I'm not just gonna sit there. So I'm like getting off and Juju's behind me like, bruh, you're getting off. And I'm like, I look back and I'm like, Juju, I'm going ham right now. And everybody just starts laughing. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just like, y'all put me in front of a mirror and I ain't been in a studio in a while.
Right. Especially around a bunch of friends.
Exactly. Like there's
the energy is different.
Whole different. Like the crump scene, I love it. It gives me what I need. It gives me the camaraderie. It gives me the community. But then when I get in front of a bunch of choreographers, it's a different atmosphere. It's just like when I was in Dope Show. Like when I would go lab with y'all, I would get different thoughts, different ideas, different. It's just like,
and like one thing I want to do again is I remember when like we all battled you.
Oh, bruh. That was so fun.
That was fun for you. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, O'Donnell gave me a round from hell though.
No, he really did. I think like after that rehearsal, I was like, yo, I needed that. Yeah. Because it's more so a push into like forcing you to like, look, here is this obstacle.
You have to
to like just go for it and like just give it your all.
Yeah. And that's what battling is, man. We attacked 1, 2, and 3 questions. So we're gonna go ahead and take a commercial break, y'all. We'll be right back. Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff you need to do. I appreciate you. Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? At Swarm Branding, we're your digital marketing agency in Las Vegas. At Swarm Branding, we're not just another agency, though. We're a team of creatives that's dedicated to turning your vision into reality. Whether that's web design, graphic design, search engine optimization, or social media services, we've got you covered. Our certified experts bring over 2 decades of experience to the table, ensuring top-notch quality with every project. And the best part, we offer fair pricing without compromising on excellence. So why wait? Boost your business with Swarm Branding today. Visit our website or give us a call to get your free consultation. Yo, welcome back. Hive Hustle Podcast. I'm your host, Mafioso. I got my boy Gio on the ones and twos.
Hey.
And then I got my brother Danny here with me, man. We was just going ham about Vegas dance, about our experiences, about how it is to be in rehearsal with some choreographers as a freestyler and as a crumper. And then how like me and him was in crew together and we battled each other and it just pushed him. But now, so a lot of people don't know, but Danny is like a dope ass cinematographer. Like a lot of the shit you see behind the scenes in Vegas or any dancer in Vegas, I'm telling you, he did it. Or like you and Mike Perez work like a lot together.
Yeah. Well, he was my mentor.
Okay. Well, then there we go. Tell us how you got into cinematography and like what happened with that.
So,
like you were a dancer.
Yeah.
So where did the shift happen?
Yeah. So, I mean, I am not like special in any way when it comes to the beginning of that story. It's like every parent, doesn't approve of dance.
Oh God.
I'm not like everyone has gone through that,
Yeah.
And I think at that point I was just tired of the arguing, tired of the, all of the
You're not gonna make money and
well, it's like I wasn't even trying to make it a career anyway.
You just
I just
wanted to
loved
dance,
it.
yeah.
I just loved it, and that's all it was. Because I was in college.
yeah.
What'd
you go to college for?
I was gonna do commercial refrigeration.
Oh my God. And now he's a cinematographer.
And I got my degree. I graduated. I stuck it out.
So so what's commercial refrigeration, if I can ask?
So it's pretty much, it's like, instead of doing like AC units on like residential homes, it would be like the big coolers inside hotels and stuff.
Hold on. So you went to college to work on commercial refrigerators,
Yeah.
like AC
AC,
units,
HVAC,
in
like that kind of, yeah.
So was it like a 4-year college or was it
No,
like a
it's
trade
It
school?
was 2 years.
Oh,
CSN.
CSN.
So
okay.
like they don't really have a specific classification. Like the degree is just Associates of Applied Science. Like,
Oh, okay.
and it just like falls under that category.
Got it. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's like design, like graphic design. It's not a specific degree you get. It's like an art degree.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like my friend downstairs. He's a graphic designer. He went to the Art Institute of Las Vegas.
Okay.
And it was like a graphic design degree, but you learned a lot of different shit in that. So I get it. So
Yeah.
what made you switch from commercial refrigeration to cinematography?
So before I get into that, I eventually quit dance because of my family situation, but who I am as a person, I need an outlet.
You're creative. Yeah.
I need something.
Yeah, I think anybody needs an outlet of some sort. Yeah.
For anyone who's creative,
Whether it be therapy, going to talk to somebody, or journaling, or
anything.
your thoughts need to get somewhere. Yeah.
So I've always been a visual person. I always even like the video games I play. Like if it's like visually stimulating, like that's what I want to do. That's where I want to be.
Makes sense.
So at that time, I was working at Best Buy.
Okay.
So I was there for like a good 4 years because I was there during college.
That's comedy. You know who else worked for Best Buy? My producer.
Oh,
He really worked for Best Buy for hella long.
but I ain't gonna say nothing about Best Buy. But
I don't think he wants to either.
Nah, let's move on.
I was in the PC section. I was trying to be in DI, but it's whatever.
I was actually in DI.
Oh, you lucky.
That's funny. I
lucky.
started in home.
I think that's how you got into videography, right?
Yeah.
Because he started taking photos with the Sony that they gave you.
Yeah.
See, because people in DI, the customers in DI actually like what they're buying. Everyone in PC is like, my computer broke, or they're old and they don't know they don't know anything about computers, so they're just yelling at you. I'm like, bro, just pick something, please.
Anyway.
So you worked at Best Buy.
I worked at Best Buy during that time, and actually, that helped me get my first camera. Because during that time period, if you were obviously an employee at Best Buy, I got an employee discount off of my camera, but Sony would do like a program to where if you take all their e-learnings or whatever, you can get certified in their digital imaging for Sony cameras.
Got it.
but they would give you 40% off one body a year and 40% off 4 lenses a year.
Oh shit.
So it was that plus my employee discount.
Oh, you was getting it for
Yeah.
practically free.
Yeah, so I bought like the A7 III, the Sony A7 III when that came out. That was like $2,000. I got it for like $900.
Amen.
And then I got like 2 lenses for like 40% off.
Yeah.
So like my kit was at that time stacked. Like it was like
Yeah, for a first kit,
that was the prosumer. Like
Yeah,
that was the
you was
camera.
Fast and the Furious first year,
And like I got so much mileage out of that camera. Like
I
used
imagine.
that. But it's funny because like before that, I was trying to test things and like I did a bunch of research. I started with this A6000, so the crop sensor body. And then I was like, oh, the 6500 came out, which was like the next step up. And I was like, oh,
So immediately diving in, you were a geek for camera
already.
equipment.
Because I already like building like my PC. Like,
Yeah.
I was already in like the gamer PC
Yeah,
world.
that
So
makes sense.
I already liked tech stuff in
Yep,
general.
that makes sense.
So going into cameras was already like geeking out. I'm like, oh, this is another thing I can do with my computer. I can edit. I can use my computer to its fullest. So I was just like testing things, trying things, all that kind of stuff. And then because I worked at Best Buy, I abused the system.
Of course.
So
who doesn't?
I was like I bought like a camera. I could like return it like 3 months later because I was an employee. And then I bought the protection plan on the next camera, and this hurt my soul. Don't get me wrong, this hurt my soul. But I purposely broke it because I knew I could take advantage of the protection plan. Yeah, it hurt me to do that, but
It was for a purpose.
it was to get the A7 III at that time. So I purposely broke it because I knew they would give me my money back for it.
And then you could use that towards the A7 III.
Yeah, it was
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I did that, and that took me a long way.
Okay.
In like my photo video journey.
Okay. So how did you get into like doing commercial conventions and
Okay.
stuff like that?
So
Because you don't just like film dancing videos. Like
Right.
you do this shit for a living and like you hold rigs and
it
like
transitioned into that.
Yeah,
So,
how do you-
So the first connection was Mike Perez.
okay.
So I was filming a lot of like dance classes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was filming Chris Aldiger's class.
Yes.
Mike Perez took it. And this is actually kind of funny because I remember that class that Mike was in. I only pressed record when people would walk out of the groups. like I royally like messed up. And I remember looking back after the class, I was like, oh shoot, like I didn't get any of the groups.
Dang.
But like I was so new at the time. Like it's just like it's such a beginner mistake.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, very beginner mistake, but it happens.
Right.
Like,
So after that, I was like, and I looked up at Mike after class. I was like, yo, bro, can I shadow you sometime? Like, can I like just come with you on a shoot? Like, and don't even like pay me. Like, I just want to learn. And then after that, because he's already been established,
yeah.
doing stuff
As a photographer, as a
Video
videographer,
person,
yeah.
yeah, so-
he was very established already.
So I remember my beginning shoots with him, I would always help him shoot like A-team stuff.
I remember those shoots.
With all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was an era I learned a lot too. And then eventually over time, I met other people
Okay.
that helped me grow and helped me get better.
Got it.
And all those connections eventually over time
Turned into a network of
turn
people.
into a network of people. And because you make these friends, like friends want to work with friends.
Yeah.
So to be on set with like the homies is like
Oh yeah.
immaculate.
It's an amazing
It's so
thing.
good.
Yeah.
And like I would say one of the first examples of that is shout out to
aha moment.
shout out to my friend Christian Astorga. He used to be one of the main videographers for Jabberwockies.
Yes, I know who he is. Yeah.
So now it's Gio Espino, which
Yep.
he's taken over that role
Yeah.
now. But us three and some other people that are friends of ours, like we put a lot of videos together
For Jabba.
for Jabba.
Yeah.
So which were like it was just so much fun to make.
Dude.
And it feels good because like we all want to just give high level production.
Yeah.
So like we would rent stuff out. We put fortunately we had budget from Jabba.
Yeah,
which is good.
obviously.
So that let us let our minds run.
Oh yeah,
amok.
you could do insane things.
So
with
we'd
a
have
budget.
like 12 by 12 diffusers. Like we're shooting outside. We'd wet the pavement.
Yeah.
We have, like a whole bunch of lighting kits that we'd set up in the background and just have just an amazing shoot.
Arsenal of shit.
Arsenal, yeah. And we have the right people, and because we all love the vision, like we just make some amazing work,
That's dope as hell, man. That's dope. I don't want to ask this question, but I do want to ask this question because I know it's gonna cause some riffraff. But what's your favorite part about Vegas dance, and
Okay.
what don't you like about it?
Oof. I feel like, okay. I think my favorite part about Vegas, and this is dance community.
Yes.
Okay.
Like street dance community, like
Okay.
choreography.
I will say,
freestyle.
and this might be controversial. I don't know. But I think I miss the old Vegas in a lot of ways.
Okay.
But I'm slowly liking the new dancers that we're getting in Vegas because they're young and a lot of them are hungry.
Yeah.
And I feel like I wouldn't call myself like an OG or a veteran. I feel like I've been around the community for a long time, but I feel like that's just what I am. I've just been around for a little while.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice to share with the newer generation who actually want to learn what foundation is, what the foundation styles are.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice to be able to at least help guide them on that.
Yeah.
And-
You're giving back to what you originally received. Like if you
Right.
didn't have a Chris, if you didn't have a
Right.
Brandon, if you didn't have an O'Donnell, if you didn't have these people that you were looking at when you 1st came into the picture, you wouldn't have been able to go into the right paths or
Right.
to have a group of friends that you could dance with.
Yeah.
And you're giving that back now. So all you're doing is each one teach one. You're living hip hop.
And that's just, and I think that's for me in my journey, that's where I'm at right now. And it
Yeah.
feels good to be able to show the newer generation,
Yeah.
like this is what these styles are. And these are like, I can show you the very basics, but these are the
Go to
people-
these people that if you want specialties.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we need those people, man, because we need people like you because you respect what the street styles have given to choreography and you respect what choreography and the industry styles have given to street because there's a lot of people that are in both, nowadays. I remember when Trey threw his first battle, everybody was like, why is a choreographer throwing a street battle? I'm
not?
like, why not?
Yeah.
Like Trey grew up in Vegas. He went to Valley High School. He was on the dance team with my wife at Valley High School. Like a lot of people don't know that. Like my wife and Trey go way back. Like they're both 30.
But you know what? There's always going to be that level.
Oh, yeah.
Of people of not knowing.
Oh,
And it's just ignorance.
It's literally ignorance. And that's what, like, a lot of people aren't emotionally intelligent, all of that,
That's a whole nother topic.
Let's not get on that one. But this is my favorite part, bro. Because I like to do this because it gives me an insight on what people like, what you like. Like outside of your profession, outside of you being a dancer, what you like. These questions, these flash questions give me like that. So we obviously know Kendrick and Drake are battling. So outside of, I'm not talking about lyricism, just your personal opinion. Do you prefer Drake or Kendrick?
Outside of the beef,
Just
or-
in general, as an artist, what do you prefer?
I think if I'm at the club dancing, Drake is the easiest way to just
Yeah.
run amok.
Yeah.
But if I'm at home, I'm listening to Kendrick. If I
Okay.
want to sit and listen to something, like it's Kendrick.
If you want to sit and marinate,
Yeah.
Kendrick, got
Like
you.
if you want to like think about the art and like
Yeah.
sit back and
If you want to be,
Not
if you want to be
listening to
woke,
if you don't want to like listen to something a little like mindless, like Kendrick, I like listening to Kendrick only because it's something I can really think about.
you can
actually.
eat. You can eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like it gets deep. Yeah. They're two different styles, and that's why I didn't understand why they were fucking battling in the first place. Just to be
And
honest.
Drake got smoked, but it's okay.
Yeah, of course. We knew that was gonna
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
Like
It's
come
like when
on,
anyone
bro.
tries to
Kendrick-
like poke Eminem too. It's like
I was like, come on, dog. Like, so okay, Nickelodeon or Disney. This is gonna tell me how your childhood was. So,
Man.
and take the fucking watch whatever
Okay.
documentary out of it.
Okay.
Shows for shows.
Right.
Art for art.
I will say, as far as watchability, Nickelodeon.
Okay.
But Disney, as far as like,
Production and
well, music,
That's very true.
Like
When you
I'm
really
always
think about
singing something from Disney,
That's
like their
very true.
movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Even as like jokes. Like
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times like I sing Camp Rock at like rehearsal.
Literally.
So, but like Nickelodeon is like I will actually sit and watch more so.
I get that. I do. I get that. Okay. Hip hop or R&B?
R&B. That's just what I that's just what I grew
yes.
up with. I mean, in my dance journey, that is I didn't really listen to R&B until I started dancing.
Really?
And that was like, yeah, because Chris, like that's like Chris's like
very true.
shtick. Like even UTR, like a lot of the stuff we did was like R&B. Even learning from JR,
Yeah.
R&B. Like
Yeah,
that's
very
where
true.
I started.
Okay.
So-
Well, hey, on that note, we're going to hit a commercial break. We'll be right back. Like some shit. Follow. Subscribe. Do something besides just sit there and watch us. Jeez. We'll be right back. Are you ready for the ultimate Swarm experience? Get ready to immerse yourself in everything we have to offer. From top-notch branding services with Swarm Branding to the freshest streetwear at Swarm Brand. We've got you covered. Dive deep into the vibrant world of street culture with Swarm Culture, where every event and initiative celebrates the pulse of the streets. Also, don't forget to tune into the Hive Hustle Podcast, where the stories behind the streets come to life. Are you ready to swarm everything? Visit our website today at swarmeverything.com or call us at 702-758-5591 and we'll get you started on your journey. Hey, welcome back. No Diddy.
Oh.
I've been doing that every episode for a while now. Thank you for tuning in. I can't, Gio. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you for being here. This is the Hive Hustle Podcast. I'm with my producer, Gio, G Suede. I'm with my bro, Danny. We talking about Vegas dance. We talking about cinematography. We talking about Kendrick, Drake, Nickelodeon, Disney, hip hop, and R&B. We talking about all the shit. That's why you need to keep tuning in. But look, bro. So we are both dancers. We were just talking about how you're giving back now. You're giving that kind of like leadership by teaching, by being a part of a new crew. So as a dancer, if they're coming into the scene now, there's social media, there's YouTube, there's TikTok, there's all these things that are where they can get information, right? But nothing is better than information from people that have experienced it already. So what advice would you give to somebody like that's in high school right now, just trying to get in dance?
I mean, I think one thing I was always told is whoever you're inspired by, whoever you look up to, look at who taught them and then keep going.
Grandfather of the
And
grandfather of the
keep
grandfather.
going.
Yeah.
Because whatever you may like from them, you may like even more from who they learned from.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that was always taught to me is backtrack,
Yeah.
see where they learned, who they learned from.
Yeah.
And if they're in certain teams, like where did those teams start? Who
Yeah.
directed those teams?
Yeah. History is a very big part of it, you know?
Because so many times people have been in different performances, different, teams, different crews, like follow their history.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. Okay. Now, both of us know this life is crazy, the self-employed life.
Okay.
We've talked about it plenty of times. Me and you have had conversations about how we can make 15 grand in 1 month and 2 in the next month. It just happens like that. What do you feel like? What makes you choose self-employment or business owning over going to get a job? And what would be your perfect balance? Because obviously I have employees now, so I do my best to try to maintain a creative atmosphere and still allow them to be freelancers on their own, but still have a structure. So what are the pros and cons of being self-employed?
Yeah. I mean, coming from both, I've done both. Where I've from freelance to working for a production company for 2 years and then coming back to freelance.
Yeah.
It just depends, I would say, on what you want. Like I learned so much being on a production company, but the downside is you shoot what they want, what they get hired to shoot.
Yeah.
And that's your job. That's what you do. And you can still freelance because if you're working just full time, you can still find the time to do that to make extra money.
Exactly.
But a lot of the times, these production companies are looking for people who are, multifaceted. They can do multiple things.
Yep.
So like they want you to be able to be a camera operator. They want you to be able to edit. They want you to be like first AC or second AC. Like they need people who can do a little bit of it all.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can run you dry, and
You can get burnt out.
You get burnt out quick.
Yeah.
And not only do you have these jobs that are like that, but sometimes they're jobs that aren't even in Vegas. Like you'll have to be traveling every weekend.
Wow.
So it's like, and sometimes you come back from these jobs on a Sunday and have to go to another shoot
office on Monday.
Not
Yeah.
even the office to another shoot on Monday.
So that's like production company stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're
It just
not
depends
working.
on who you work for.
Yeah.
But like that's during like busy times too. So
Yeah.
it just depends on, what you want for yourself. Whereas like freelance, you can pick and choose your clients.
Yep.
You can pick and choose when you need to deliver your edits.
Yeah.
But it's also a higher level of discipline you got to have with yourself.
Yep.
And you have to have that conversation with yourself as to like, okay, I need consistent clients. I need to go out and get clients. Am I making work for the things I want to create?
Yeah.
To go into a certain category of film. Like where do I want to be? Am I creating content for that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of self-reflection and making goals for yourself to make that happen.
I think that's one thing that I realized when it came down to like being self-employed, because I've been self-employed. I haven't had a full-time W-2 job since 2022,
Okay.
like legitimately. And I've been growing the business since then. Geo started working for me as a contractor in March of 2023?
March
Of last year,
February,
right?
yeah, February, March.
Yeah. And now he's full-time W-2.
Nice.
Like we literally are here every day. Yeah. Obviously my business is a little different than a production company. We're not on shoots all the time. But I do my best because all of three of us have like a niche that we want to be a part of. Like Gio's the video guy. Like when we do a new website, he goes and does the photo shoot. So he gets to be able to be creative in his own way in that way. And same thing with Monte. Monte wants to learn how to code and wants to learn how to build websites, but he also wants to learn how to create content. And he tells me like all the time, like I'm grateful because I'm able to be creative.
Yeah.
And I do this because I need help. And also that's how I got into working full time as a graphic designer and web designer. I was an intern. And then I ended up learning a lot from one person. He took me under his wing. I learned everything I know about video editing, graphic design, web design, coding, and like everything business wise. I learned from one person for like 5 years. I was his intern and I followed him with companies.
But you know what? And it's so funny you say all this because it's exactly what a crew is supposed to be.
Basically like a dance crew.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's people coming together that already vibe with each other, exchanging thoughts and ideas and learning from each other.
Yeah.
And you just took that and brought that to your business,
That's crazy.
which is why I think it feels
That was a bar.
That's why it's successful.
Yeah. That's crazy. And it's like, I also look at it like, I'm obviously their employer. I'm their boss, but like, I look at it like more of like a big brother thing.
You're the director.
Nah, I don't work for you. I work with you.
Whatever. I love you too. He does work with me. A lot of this engine wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for him, and I tell him that all the time. But like in general, like it's, yes, you are right. The director, and every person plays their part. And as long as they play their part, the team is going to be successful.
Everyone is necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. So last question.
Yeah.
What's next? What projects do you have going on that you can speak about? Because obviously a lot of us have like projects that we can't speak about.
Yeah.
And like, what's some goals that you want to reach?
Yeah. Oof. I think for myself, as of right now, I just got back from a trip. So in March, I went to Singapore, Philippines, and Japan. And I went with a bunch of friends, but it was a vacation for me, but I also took that as an opportunity to like film like every single day. And fortunately, some of the friends I went with, they don't do content full time, but they are like, they have like their little like, Osmo action.
Yeah, everybody's got
action
their
cam,
little, yeah.
So I took every day and I dated it, brief, whatever we did. And then I have like drone, my camera, action camera, whatever else that we shot on. So like I have all this footage. I'm sitting on like 800 gigs of footage from the month.
Dang.
Just the stuff that I can make content with and just start like pumping out stuff on my social media, because my ultimate goal for myself is to be able to do commercial work for like hotels in other countries. So
That's a crazy goal and dope as hell. I would never have thought about that. Like,
Yeah.
I want to do hotel videos and commercial videos for other countries. That's
So-
crazy. So you getting paid in other currencies and
because
shit.
it scratch like that specifically scratches a lot of my itches for what I like to shoot,
That's dope.
because I love travel content, but I also like making commercial work too.
Yeah,
So it's like a good combination of that.
that's dope as
And
fuck.
because I the first taste I got of that is I shot of content for the St. Regis Hotel in San Francisco, and making all those short reels really was like, okay, well, one, I can add this to my portfolio, and then two, I have an idea and a structure of how I can pitch to these other hotels too.
Yep.
So I know the vibe, and I kind of shot some of this content throughout the month of my travel with that intention.
Yeah, so you can show like this is
Exactly.
what I can accomplish for you.
Exactly.
Man, that's literally what we did here for like the web design. You know,
Okay.
we just got a hookah lounge. We got a cultivation company.
Wow.
So
See, every time I talk to you, like there's something added or there's something new.
yeah, man, we doubled our clientele in 3 months. So and I feel like by the end of the year we'll probably be at like 50 clients. That's the goal. To be at
Consistent clients.
like recurring. They're paying us monthly to do something.
That's the dream.
Yeah. So, but hey, y'all, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is Hive Hustle Podcast, Season 3, Episode 2. My bro Danny, my co-producer Gio, and we appreciate y'all for being here. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, follow all of us on the TikTok, the Instagram, the YouTube, all of those Facebooks and all that stuff. But we appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Have a good one. Peace.